Yahuwah, the covering, their covering, Yahuwah. The cloud represents Yahuwah. How do we know that? Let me explain. When you go to the book of Shamut, as Yahuwah, okay, baby, as Yahuwah prepared to bring them out of Mitzrayim, what did he say? He said that I will be a cloud. Yahuwah said, I will be a cloud to you by day and a fire by night. So the cloud here is Yahuwah. Okay? So we want to make sure we understand that. The cloud here is Yahuwah. All our fathers were under the cloud. The cloud here is Yahuwah. Okay? For I do not wish you to be ignorant, brothers, that all our fathers were under the cloud, and all passed through the sea. Verse 2. Were under the cloud. The cloud here is Yahuwah. Okay? For I do not wish you to be ignorant, brothers, that all our fathers were under the cloud, and all passed through the sea. Verse 2. And all were immersed into Masha, in the cloud, and in the sea. And all, hold on. I think there's an error here. Let me see something. This is, one second, maybe I'm jumping to conclusion, but let me just check another translation very quickly. The Besora, it says all were immersed into Masha. 1 second. Let me double check that. Give me 1 second, please. I want to check something. I don't remember if I read that like that before. Let me just check something. Not into, okay? It's not into. The word should not be into. It should be onto, okay? The Besora says into, okay? Besora says into, that all were immersed into Masha. Should not be into. It should be onto, okay? So that distinction is necessary. It's important. That raised a red flag when I saw that. It should not be into. Should be onto. Nobody was immersed into Masha. You see? Nobody was immersed into Masha. They were immersed onto Masha. Yahuwah immersed them and commanded them to obey his servant. And that's what immersed onto Masha means, you see. Thank you, Aki. Thank you so much. When I tell you the Basura is just as twisted and as wicked as these other translations, it's no joke. And all ate the same spiritual food, and all drank the same spiritual drink. For they drank of that spiritual rock that followed, and the rock was who? So he said, no, the rock was who? The rock was Mashiach. The rock was Mashiach. Hold on. The rock. Wait. The rock was Mashiach. Now, so the rock was Yahusha, but again, who is the rock? And who is the cloud? According to the scriptures, Yahuwah is our rock, right? So what he is telling us, that the same one that is our rock is also Mashiach. You see. So yes, their rock is not our rock. So the rock, so they all ate. So you see, for I do not wish you to be ignorant, brothers, that all our fathers were under the cloud. The cloud is Yahuwah. The rock also is Yahuwah. They're one and the same. They all drank the same spiritual food. Now, notice his usage of the word same. They all ate the same spiritual food. They all drank the same spiritual drink, the same truth. There's only one truth. There's only one Yahuwah. Okay? And there's no Elohim beside him. If Yahusha is different from him, that means we have two Elohim. There's only one Elohim. There's none beside him. Okay? Now, for they drank the same spiritual of that spiritual rock that followed. So the rock followed them. When you go back to Shamut and Dabarim and Uyakra, do you see it saying in there that Yahusha followed them? The rock that followed them was Yahuwah. What he is letting us know, what Shaul is letting us know, is that Yahusha is Yahuwah manifested in flesh, which is what he was letting us know in the book of Philippians, chapter 2. Now, verse 5, however, with most of them, Elohim was not well pleased, for they were laid low in the wilderness. And these became examples for us, so that we should not lust after evil, as those indeed lusted. Okay? Now, again, what Shaul is letting us know is that there is no Trinity. And as we go through the writings of Shaul, you're going to see places where it looks like Shaul is teaching that there is a Trinity. What that tells us is that there is a contradiction. And the explanation is not that, well, one guy named Paulus wrote this, and he was confused. That's not the explanation. This is what it is. What happened is that you have a lawless people who took a lawful text and they have twisted the lawful text to make it look lawless. Okay? So we're going to stop here for today. What we're going to do, we're going to close out in prayer, just in case anybody have to go. But also, we're going to go to questions and answers. And I want to thank Akut Sarah for continuing to remind us of that. But I'm going to stop here for today. We only got to chapter 3 in Romans chapter 1. But again, the reason why we're doing this, Scriptures tells us that we are to study line upon line, precept upon precept, here a little and there a little. And that's what we are seeking to obey. Okay? So what we know from our study today is that when they say that Yahusha was just a man like you and I, Scripture shows us that's not the case. The Scriptures that they used to say that is not even talking about Mashiach. You see, it's talking about a regular man. When they, what else we covered? They talk about the Trinity or anything else that they talk about. The Scriptures does not support it. We recognize that the translation have been twisted. Words like but and in and others that will come up on have been used to mislead us and to confuse many. But this is just the beginning. We have a long way to go. And, hopefully we can start together and we can get to the end together. So as we continue to investigate the writings of Shaul. Okay? So just in case anyone need to go, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to pray, and then we're going to come back to our question and answer segment. Praise Father. Allow for
my being. Yeah, it's life. Yeah, it's life.
Praise Yahuwah. No problem, Akut. You know what's unfortunate? What's unfortunate? If we want to get records of the renewed covenant in its original state, we're going to have to break down the walls of the Vatican and the vaults of these museums that houses the history of Africans, but Africans can't afford to visit them. Historians, including Christian historians, have written about that fact. Early historians, there ain't none today that's going to admit it, but early historians have written about that fact, and there are clues in these writings that lets us know also, you know. But if we to get that stuff, we would have to be able to bombard and break down the gates of the Vatican and these other storehouses where they have our history, but ensure that we can't get to it. So it's there. It's just that we don't have access, Akut. You know, and that's what's unfortunate. Yes, but he is revealing what is hidden. And you know how a lot of these sources are coming out? Because of greed, because of money. You see, because it's easy for people to make money off of this today, just using the internet. And because of greed, they're even what we have available is being revealed because they're greedy, but they're doing the will of Yahuwah. You see, Yahuwah uses situations to bring about his plan. Why I brought up that subject of forever, that word that is translated forever. So take, for example, Lawi, the priesthood, or the sons of Harun. You will find that Yahuwah spoke. He said that the priesthood will be of the sons of Harun forever. The priesthood will be of the law of Lawi forever. I'm sorry, not Lawi, but Louis, forever. There are different things that Yahuwah would say, and he would attach the word forever to it. For example, even we talk about Zit, and he says that he gave the command concerning Zit, and that it was to be an ordinance forever, as a reminder forever, and so on. But the word forever is often, when we see it, we think in the context of eternity. But really, that's not always the case. So many things, even the priesthood, certain things about Zit and so on. The ordinance was given, and it was to last for a number of generations until something changes. So his name, yes, I know, Akut. So, but I had to start there. I wanted to start there to give you the premise. So when you go to the book of Chazun and you see a name being revealed that no man knows or no man knew, now he tells us that his name would be Yahuwah forever, yet we will know him by a name that we had not known before. Does that mean that his name will cease to be Yahuwah? I don't think so. I don't think it means that his name will cease to be Yahuwah, but yet we'll know him by a name that we had not known him before, you know. So forever, and you can look at that in two regards. I don't know, and I won't attempt to say that his name will cease to be Yahuwah. To say that then forever in regards to his name only means until something changes. I won't go absolutely all the way to that point, but what it does mean is that there comes a time where a name will be revealed by which we had not known him, you know. And Yahuwah has many, you know, the scripture calls them name. They're really, they're names, they're verbs, they're descriptive titles of his character and the things that he does. And I believe that what that name will be will have to do with him ruling and reigning with his people. You know, we have a title, Emmanuel, that speaks of that, but perhaps what that name will be will have to do with what will be at that time. You know, I don't know, because the scriptures don't give you enough detail, and I don't try to go into too much speculation. But he does, again, I brought up the subject of forever too, even as we look at his name. It could very well be until another name is introduced, or as well as that name will continue to exist, but we will know him by another name that we had not known. In other words, when it speaks of a name, it speaks of character. We'll know him in a way that we had not known him before. That's really what the name comes down to. You see, the name introduces to us a character. We will know him in a way that we had not known him before. And that's what it really comes down to, you know. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and hopefully that helps. Praise Yah. I'm going to go ahead and, yes, or attribute. Yes, thank you. That's attribute, not character, but attribute. Thank you, Zafayu. Certainly, that's the word I should use, attribute. Thank you. Okay, let me go to Arakut Yariya. Praise Yah, Akut. That's a great reference. And that was Shamut 21 is where that's found. I forget where it's at. Is this Shamut? Yeah, Shamut 21, that's where it's at. Oh, it's Dabarim. Okay. I forgot where it was. But first of all, let's go to it. But I think the distinction there, the clear distinction is you have when Yasharal went to war, the situation was slightly different. The laws governing war and marriage, there were a different set of circumstances as opposed to peacetime, you know. So the purpose of that quick marriage, because war, you know, we live in a society today where wars are really they sit around and they plot against nations. But if war should unfold the way that they historically unfold, oftentimes the one being attacked is caught by surprise, you know, by total surprise. Today, if you can hack into somebody's system, now, to those listening, I'm not saying we're going to hack the government system, but you know, if WikiLeaks hacks into somebody's system, you know, you see that ain't no war by accident, or it didn't just come out of nothing, but there is an intricate plan that has been in place, governed by a system, and it's been in place for a very long time, you know. So the there's really when it came to Yasharal, when they find themselves where they have to go out to war, um, the laws governing what they do as far as taking a wife was really different because it was about posterity. You know, it was about ensuring that the lineage continues. You know, in case that one don't make it back and so on. Yes, absolutely. Everything's being played out as it was planned. So that's a very good example, Akut, but that's not the standard of Yahuwah's standard for marriage. But and the difference there is war and peace. That's really the difference. But I believe that you're right. I think that's where you know people take that premise from, but that's not the standard. Um,
Weren't they supposed to, if they had got married, they weren't even supposed to go to war?
yes,
Considered
under
for
a certain
war
time. Yes.
for at least a year.
Yes.
So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. So in Dabarim chapter 21, I just want to go to that very quickly. um, verses 10. When you go out to fight against your enemies, and Yahuwah your Elohim shall give them into your hand, and you shall take them captive, and shall see among the captives a woman fair of form, and shall delight in her, and take her to your wife, take her for your wife, and you shall bring her home to your house, and she shall shave her head and trim her nails, and put aside the mantle of her captivity, and shall dwell in your house, and mourn her father and her mother a month of days. And after that you shall go in to her, and be her husband, and she shall be your Ashah. And it shall be, if you are not pleased with her, then you shall let her go at her desire, but you do not sell her at all for silver. Do not treat her harshly, since you have humbled her. When a man has two wives, one loved and the other unloved, and they have born him children, both the loved and the unloved, and the firstborn son is of her who is unloved. And it shall be on the day he makes his son to inherit his possessions, he is not allowed to treat the son of the beloved wife as firstborn in the face of the son of the unloved, who is truly the firstborn. And we don't need to go further because the question is really just dealing with verse 10 through 12 or so. But again, the difference are through 13. Thank you, Akut. The difference there is, number one, also, when this is, and this is where some people have a hard time with, this is where some people have a hard time with the scriptures when it comes to women, how women could have been treated, okay, or were treated. Some people have a very difficult time with this, okay. Now, one of the difference here is that this woman that was taken, she is not a woman of Yasharal. And even though this could have happened among the tribes also, okay, this could have happened among the tribes, as in like with Banyamin, you know. She certainly did, you know. But it could have happened among the tribes. But the difference really is, these are laws that governs war, and you have a different set of laws when it comes to peacetime, you know. So when people, you know, when they take these precepts and they try to apply it across the board, you know, in everything that Yahuwah gives us instruction in, he separates them. He categorizes. His instructions are categorized, you know, and it's really a different rule for a different situation, you know. That's really what it is, and so it should not be used to justify somebody else's a person's lustful desires, because that's really what drive these men when they come up with these excuses. They're being driven by a spirit of lust, you know, or compromise, you know. So it should not be used in that way. It's really a different set of instruction for a different situation. All right.
No matter how smooth the talk is.
Yes.
Still lust.
Yep. Let me go to Akut Sarah.